What if I told you that the most electrifying moment at Royal Rumble 2026 wasn't about who won the match, but about a single devastating attack that left the entire wrestling world in absolute shock? What if I told you that Drew McIntyre, the Scottish Warrior himself, orchestrated one of the most brutal and calculated assaults we've ever witnessed, and his target was none other than the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes? And what makes this even more incredible is how Cody responded to this vicious sneak attack. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear is a story of betrayal, vengeance, and the kind of drama that only happens when pride collides with destiny. Let me paint the picture for you. It's Royal Rumble 2026. The atmosphere is electric. Thousands of fans packed into the arena, millions watching around the world, and everyone's asking the same question: who's going to punch their ticket to WrestleMania? The Royal Rumble match is chaos incarnate, bodies flying over the top rope, alliances forming and crumbling in seconds, and dreams being shattered with every elimination. But here's the thing about the Royal Rumble that makes it so special: it's unpredictable. You never know who's coming out next, you never know who's forming an alliance, and you definitely never know when someone's going to make a statement that echoes through eternity. Now, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the man who finished his story, the man who carries the legacy of his father on his shoulders and the hopes of an entire generation on his back. Cody wasn't just another entrant in this Rumble. He was a marked man. See, when you're at the top, when you're the measuring stick, everyone wants a piece of you. Every superstar in that locker room sees Cody as the golden ticket, the guy you need to go through to prove you belong in the main event scene. But Drew McIntyre? Drew saw something different. Drew saw an opportunity. Let me take you back for a second, because this rivalry, this tension, it didn't just appear out of nowhere. Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes have been on a collision course for months. These are two men who represent different sides of the same coin. Both are legacy fighters. Both have clawed their way back from the bottom. Both have proven they can carry a company on their backs. But there's a difference. Cody finished his story. Cody got his WrestleMania moment. Cody held the championship high and cemented his place in history. Drew's been close so many times, but something always gets in the way. An empty arena championship reign during a pandemic. A moment stolen by the bloodline. A dream deferred again and again. And that kind of frustration, that kind of hunger, it doesn't just go away. It festers. It grows. It turns into something darker. So there's Cody, competing in the Royal Rumble, fighting with everything he has, because that's what Cody does. He's eliminating superstars left and right, working with some, battling others, and the crowd is absolutely losing their minds. Every near elimination has people on their feet. Every close call sends shockwaves through social media. Cody's in his element, doing what he does best, proving once again why he's one of the most beloved superstars in the entire industry. The energy is insane. You can feel it through the screen. And then it happens. The lights flicker. The music hits. Drew McIntyre's entrance theme tears through the arena like a war cry, and the Scottish Warrior makes his way to the ring with purpose in his eyes. This isn't just another entrant making his way down the ramp. This is a predator who's spotted his prey. The commentators are going wild, the fans are erupting, and you can see it in Drew's face. Tonight is different. Tonight, he's not just here to win the Royal Rumble. He's here to send a message. Drew enters the ring, and for a moment, there's this incredible tension. Cody and Drew lock eyes across the chaos of the Rumble match. Other superstars are still brawling, still fighting for survival, but in that moment, everything else fades away. It's just these two warriors, two men who've bled for this business, two competitors who know that legacy isn't given, it's taken. And you can feel it. You can feel that something massive is about to happen. They start exchanging blows, and let me tell you, these aren't your typical Rumble punches. These are shots loaded with months of frustration, jealousy, respect, and rivalry. Cody fires off with his signature strikes, that lightning-quick offense that's dropped giants. Drew responds with those earth-shattering chops and headbutts that echo through the arena. Back and forth, and the entire match seems to pause just to watch these two absolute warriors go at it. It's beautiful violence. It's storytelling at its finest. But here's where things take a turn. Here's where Drew shows just how calculated, how ruthless, how desperate he's become. During the chaos, while other superstars are being eliminated, while the referee's attention is divided, Drew does something that changes everything. He doesn't try to eliminate Cody over the top rope. No, that would be too clean, too honorable. Instead, Drew positions himself, waits for the perfect moment, and when Cody's focus shifts for just a second to deal with another superstar, Drew strikes a Claymore kick out of absolutely nowhere. The impact is sickening. Cody crumples to the mat like a building that just lost its foundation. But Drew isn't done. Not even close. While Cody's down, while he's vulnerable, Drew starts targeting him with a viciousness we haven't seen from the Scottish Warrior in years. Stomps to the back. Clubbing blows to the spine. And then, the move that made everyone's blood run cold, Drew hoists Cody up and delivers a devastating future shock DDT right on the steel steps that had been thrown into the ring earlier in the match. The arena goes silent for a split second. That kind of silence that only happens when something truly shocking occurs. And then the boos start raining down like a thunderstorm. Medical personnel rush to the ring. The Rumble match continues around Cody's motionless body, but nobody's really paying attention to anything else anymore. Drew just crossed a line. This wasn't competition. This was assassination. And here's the thing that made it even more brutal: Drew eliminated Cody while he was unconscious. Just rolled him under the bottom rope, which isn't an elimination in Rumble rules, and then when the referee wasn't looking, Drew lifted Cody's limp body and dumped him over the top rope. Technically legal. Absolutely ruthless. The message was sent loud and clear: Drew McIntyre is done playing by the rules. Drew McIntyre is done waiting his turn. Drew McIntyre is taking what he believes is rightfully his, and he doesn't care who he has to destroy to get it. The aftermath was chaos. Social media exploded. Wrestling fans around the world couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. Was this a new chapter in Drew's career? Was this the heel turn everyone had been speculating about? And most importantly, what would Cody Rhodes do in response? Because here's the thing about Cody Rhodes that makes him special: he doesn't back down. Ever. The man finished his story against Roman Reigns when everyone said it was impossible. The man came back from a torn pectoral muscle to compete at the highest level. The man carries the weight of his father's legacy and turns it into fuel. So when Cody had to be helped to the back that night, when medical staff surrounded him, when everyone was wondering about the extent of his injuries, smart fans knew this wasn't the end of the story. This was just the beginning. The next episode of Monday Night Raw was must-see television. The anticipation was through the roof. Would Cody be there? Would he be able to respond? And if he did show up, what would he say? The WWE Universe was on the edge of their seats, and the company knew it. They promoted Cody's appearance all week, building the suspense, letting the tension simmer until it was ready to boil over. And when Cody's music finally hit, when the American Nightmare walked out onto that stage, the ovation was deafening. But this wasn't the usual Cody Rhodes entrance. There was something different in his eyes. Something harder. Something that said the game had changed. He had visible bruising on his face. He was moving a bit slower than usual. The attack had taken its toll. But he was there. He was standing. And he was ready to talk. Cody grabbed a microphone, and the arena fell silent. You could hear a pin drop. And what he said next was pure magic. The kind of promo that reminds you why professional wrestling is the greatest form of entertainment on earth. Drew McIntyre, Cody started, his voice steady but loaded with emotion. You did something at the Royal Rumble that I have to give you credit for. You proved that you're willing to do whatever it takes. You proved that the desperation, the hunger, the need to be on top has consumed you so completely that you've lost sight of what this business is really about. The crowd was hanging on every word. But here's what you didn't accomplish, Drew. You didn't break me. You didn't end my story. You didn't prove you're better than me. All you proved is that when the pressure's on, when it's time to face me man to man, you need to resort to cowardice. You need to attack from behind. You need to strike when I'm vulnerable. And that, Drew, that's not the mark of a champion. That's the mark of someone who knows, deep down, that in a fair fight, on the biggest stage, they can't get the job done. The arena erupted. Cody had just thrown down the gauntlet in the most public way possible. So here's what's going to happen, Cody continued. You want a piece of the American Nightmare? You want to prove that you're the better man? Then let's do this the right way. You and me. One-on-one. And Drew, when I beat you, when I show the entire world that your attack was nothing more than a desperate act from a desperate man, everyone will know that Cody Rhodes doesn't just finish stories. Cody Rhodes writes new chapters. And your chapter, Drew, is about to be a very painful one. The place went absolutely ballistic. This was the Cody Rhodes that fans fell in love with. Passionate, articulate, fearless, and ready to back up every single word with action. But Drew's response was just as powerful. Later that same night, Drew appeared via satellite, and his message was chilling. Cody, you want to talk about fair fights? You want to talk about the right way? Let me tell you something about the right way. The right way got me nothing. The right way got me a championship reign in an empty arena. The right way got me overlooked while you got your WrestleMania moment handed to you on a silver platter. So forgive me if I'm done caring about your moral high ground. At Royal Rumble, I showed you exactly what Drew McIntyre is capable of when he stops caring about being the good guy and starts caring about being the guy. And Cody, when we meet again, you're going to wish I'd finished the job. This was a different Drew McIntyre. This was a man unhinged. A man with nothing to lose and everything to prove. And the collision course was set. Now, here's where the story gets even better. The WWE didn't just book a simple one-on-one match. No, they understood the magnitude of this rivalry. They understood that Cody and Drew had tapped into something real, something raw, something that transcended normal storylines. So they made the match official for Elimination Chamber, but with a twist. The winner would get a guaranteed championship match at WrestleMania. The stakes couldn't be higher. The build to that match was incredible. Cody and Drew had confrontations that felt real, that felt personal. There were backstage brawls that had to be broken up by security. There were promo battles that left fans arguing on social media about who had the better point. And through it all, you could feel the intensity building toward an explosion. And when Elimination Chamber finally came, when these two warriors finally stepped into the ring with everything on the line, they delivered a match for the ages. Hard-hitting, emotional, dramatic, with near falls that had everyone in the arena and at home on their feet. Drew brought the aggression. Cody brought the heart. And after a grueling battle that left both men battered and exhausted, Cody hit the crossroads not once, not twice, but 3 times to finally put Drew away. The victory was sweet. The celebration was earned. And Cody's road to WrestleMania was paved with the kind of adversity that makes triumph even more meaningful. But here's the beautiful thing about this whole story. It elevated both men. Drew showed a new dimension to his character, proving he could be a legitimate threat as either a hero or a villain. And Cody proved once again that he's not just about the feel-good moments, he can handle the gritty, brutal, personal rivalries too. This feud reminded everyone why we love professional wrestling. It's not just about the moves. It's about the stories. It's about the emotions. It's about watching characters evolve and clash in ways that feel meaningful. So when people look back at Royal Rumble 2026, they'll remember Drew McIntyre's calculated assault. They'll remember Cody Rhodes' incredible response. And they'll remember a rivalry that gave us everything we could ask for: drama, action, emotion, and 2 of the best performers in the world operating at the peak of their powers. The American Nightmare didn't just survive Drew McIntyre's sneak attack. He rose above it, conquered it, and added another incredible chapter to his already legendary story. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what makes this business so special. That's what makes moments like these unforgettable. That's why we keep coming back for more. If this story gave you chills, if it reminded you why you fell in love with wrestling in the first place, show some love by hitting that like button. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think about this rivalry. Should Drew and Cody run this back? What's next for the American Nightmare? And make sure you're subscribed, because we're bringing you the best wrestling content, the deepest analysis, and the most passionate coverage anywhere on YouTube. This is wrestling at its finest, and we're just getting started. Until next time, keep the dream alive, and remember, every nightmare eventually comes to an end, but legends last forever.